You can see them nesting, you can see their nests, you can see them walking around. They just leave filth everywhere. And the patrons mention it too.
The problem is that the striking feature of the external part of this Bobby Roberts library is open I-beams. That architecturally striking piece is apparently a perfect habitat for pigeons to roost on both sides with a ledge, and at several floors there are beams at different levels, so you have sort of a high rise of pigeon habitat, and it's unfortunately right over the space that people are walking along when they're coming into the building.
When we first moved in this building, we knew there was going to be a problem. There was no question. We could see them gathering. So we spent a couple of years with a couple of different companies, and they did some things. They attached things to the building. They tried interesting sounds. They had put feed out there that discouraged the birds. It didn't make them sick, but it made them not want to be eating here. And so they went away. And they went away for several years. But when they did the construction on the freeway, or the destruction on the freeway, the birds came back. And they came back, and they came back, and they really have infested us this time, much worse than it ever was the first round.
We are paying a third-party vendor $1,500 a month, $18,000 a year to wash it twice a week.
Before we hired Century 21 to pressure wash for us, we were doing it in-house. We were doing it about twice a week, but it just got a little too much for my in-house team to handle. Literally the next day, you're already noticing, the birds are already doing their thing. And but yeah, it doesn't take but 24 hours and it's a mess already.
The $18,000 a year doesn't encompass any expense of cleaning the windows, which need it periodically, because not all the feces lands on the ground. As you can imagine, when it's coming from the third floor beams to the ground, there's some of it's going to blow off and wind up on the glass. So there are just other things that even that $18,000 a year doesn't completely resolve.
I was tasked with the job of trying to find a permanent solution for all of this. Gonzalo, our head of operations, he had crafted a plan to weld steel over each of the I-beams to prevent a flat surface so that the birds could not roost there. So that was one solution that we were very willing to try, but that comes to the tune of about $106,000. I located a company called Avian Flyaway in Texas, and this is all they do is bird abatement. They quoted us $163,990 to cover 5,000 linear feet with what is essentially an electrified wire that gives the bird an uncomfortable little zap if they try to land on it, forcing them to go look elsewhere to perch. It's the only guaranteed solution that we have at this point, and we feel pretty good about it. It's just the price tag is so high.
So there's no short, simple, inexpensive solution here, sadly, unfortunately. As a steward of public money, I wish there were. If we're gonna do something, we have to choose between two expensive options. There's just not an inexpensive option, and that costs money. That's not the kind of money you like spending because it doesn't teach kids to read or doesn't inspire with some story that's in the library or have a practical effect like tutoring at Children's for kids who are struggling in math, but it's essential.